This has got to be one of the best weeks I've ever had. What is up? My name's Brad and this is Operation GameCube. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, in this series we're trying to build a GameCube collection starting off with just £10. By using our charity shops, our car boots, our Facebook marketplace, looking for stuff for cheap that we can sell for a profit to build a game fund to buy GameCube bangers. So we are now in week 4 of Operation GameCube and things are going really well. Touch wood, may they continue. Now, if you missed the first few episodes and you want to catch up, I'll stick a playlist right here so you can go and do so. But let's get straight into this week's episode. Now, we left off with this much in the game fund and we found some nice bits last week. We've got that stack of Xbox One stuff to go and trade in. And we've also made a couple of sales this week. The first thing we sold was that Thundercats toy, that Linkso. We paid £1 for that bad boy and we sold it for £35 plus postage. We also sold that Frustration board game. That's 2 weeks in a row now that we sold that for $14.99 plus postage. I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for that everywhere. That seems to be a real quick, real easy sale. So yeah, keep your eyes out for Frustration from about 2000 back is what I'm noticing. So yeah, after them 2 sales, we got a grand total of this to add to the game fund for a grand total of this. Yeah, game fund's looking all right. We need to get back out there as always. Hopefully when we trade in all them games, we can have a Butchers and CX and maybe they'll have a game that we can pick up off the list. We will have to see. But anyway, let's get into this week's episode. Let's go. Rightio everyone, so we're starting off the week with a trip to CX. We've got all them games we picked up last week, we need to go and trade them in. Obviously we're going to have a look at the GameCube section, see if there's any games off of our list and potentially pick one up if we can. It's a Sunday, so I'm not sure if any of the charity shops are open, but if they are, we're definitely going to check them out as well. So let's go. What is up guys, VoiceOver Brad is back and we are into week 4 of the Operation GameCube series and I am absolutely loving it. This is what we do on this channel. I've missed doing this challenge. I'm loving this challenge, loving every second of it. Getting back into the charity shops with a goal, with a target, under a bit of pressure to find stuff, to keep it moving. Yeah, it's definitely what we're about on this channel and I'm really enjoying it. So the first trip this week was to town, popped to a charity shop on the way to CX to trade all them Xbox One games in. This is the very mediocre GameCube collection or GameCube section that they have in my CX, 4 games in total. From there we went to a couple more charity shops. You might recognise this one from last week. These 2 red boxes here were full of them Xbox One games. On this occasion though, unfortunately there's nothing new here or nothing worth picking up. A couple different games that weren't there last week, but no real value. But always check, you've got to keep going. Charity shops they have no schedule, they have no timetable. Things are put out when they're put out, whenever that is. So you just got to keep hitting them and hoping to get the timing right or get lucky that you pick up some new stuff or the latest games that they put out. This charity shop here, it's just a mad one. It's so dark in there. It's like lit by candlelight. But I did have a look at the clothes and I saw this Aston Villa jersey. Very cool. So guys, that place is wild. It's so messy in there, so much stuff in there. You need loads of time to look through it all. But the prices are so cheap. I just got this Aston Villa kit here for £1. £1. Not too bad. Let's go. The next stop this week was down at my local recycle centre. I try and fit these hunts in and around my day-to-day. Just so happen to be in the area, so it would be rude not to pop in and have a look. Tons of games on the shelf. A whole bunch of nothing most of the time. But you never know. You have to keep checking, like I said. £2 a game in here. And they did have one worth picking up. So yeah, it was definitely worth the trip just for that one game. Saw this cool like rocker chair. Thought my boy might like it. £5, but you know, I didn't bother. Then me and the missus headed to Port Talbot for the day. I took a day off from doing anything. I wanted to hit the charity shops, visit another CX, have a look at their GameCube section. And yeah, had a little look around the charity shops. That Lego in the window there, £10 no, a bit too pricey for me. Drawer full of games here, but nothing worth picking up. I have had luck in the past. A long time ago, I found a big stack of brand new and sealed Xbox One games for £1 a piece. So yeah, just got to always check, always have a look. And then this season, like I've mentioned before, I'm trying to focus a little bit more in on the clothing. And I came across this Lions jersey. It's a good size, XXL. You want to be looking for these bigger sizes. They seem to sell a lot better on eBay. Looking for the extra larges and above. So yeah, keep your eyes out for these. It was £7. But when I took it to the till, they told me it was buy one, get one free. So I went back and had a look to try and find something else to get my money's worth. And then you'll never guess what I found in here. A frustration. Mate, this is my bolo. Keep an eye out for this. It's an easy sale. If you can pick this up for £1, £2, you can make yourself an easy £15. A couple things in the cabinet here. You had Wet, £7, and you had this graphic novel here, this Spider-Man for £20. Headed over to the DVD section, have a look at the games and stuff. There's a few games dotted about, but nothing worth picking up. They did have a PlayStation 1 game. Was it FIFA, what's that? 2002, sorry. £3 though, so yeah, left that behind. If it was £1, I would have picked it up purely for the case. Yeah, a couple games on the end here, but nothing really. Saw these cool books here. I absolutely love stuff like this. If you've been watching the channel, you'll know that Goosebumps is my thing. So to find these cool Creepers books on the shelf there for £1 each was a really cool find. I then asked if they had any games, and this fella's always pretty accommodating. He always lets me have a look at the back. And they had a little stack here, but couldn't see anything worth picking up. From there, we headed into the CX in Port Talbot. I actually really like the CX, real friendly staff in there, really good atmosphere. Not the biggest shop, but yeah, I really like it. Couple heavy hitting PS2 games there in the window. Their GameCube section was a little bit better than my local. There's a couple here in the glass cabinet, and a couple Mario Parties and a Super Smash Bros, which are on the list, but I wasn't in the position to pick one up at this time. There's a couple VHS up on the top shelf here. Ace Ventura. Oh, what great films these were back in the day. Jim Carrey at his finest. A couple other VHS here, but nothing I wanted to pick up, or nothing worth picking up to try and sell on. And while in this charity shop, I did find this brand new and sealed pack of 10 writable DVDs. I paid £1 for them, definitely worth picking up for £1. They'd probably sit there for a little bit, but for £1, it's definitely worth it. It's about 20 quid, I think. And while I was in there, I asked again, any games? And she brought out a couple from the back, £1.50 a game. And there was definitely one worth picking up in this Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics. We then left Port Talbot, and on our way back home, we stopped off at this charity shop. This is a newer charity shop. I've only been here a handful of times. Very hit and miss. Don't know what the pricing is going to be like. Little game selection here, but nothing really. But it was while I was in here and I was having a look around that my phone died. Yeah, I was looking at these games and my phone died. I didn't charge it the night before. I know I'm an adult, I should know better, but I just didn't. And I went out with a very little battery, and this was the point where it just died. And it couldn't have been at a worse time, because on my way out, I spied something at the corner of my eye, and it turned out pretty well. So when I left the charity shop, I had my wife film me as I came out, and I was buzzing. Right guys, so I've just been in the charity shop there. My phone died while I was looking around, but I asked the bloke at the till, any games, and he brought out all this, and I paid £30 for the lot. That's a joke, isn't it? And we are back in the games room and looking around me right now at all the good stuff we found. This has got to be one of the best weeks I've ever had. I'm so happy with the stuff we found, but not only that, we picked up our first game off the GameCube list, which is just fantastic, but we'll get into that bad boy shortly. First off, let's do the numbers. Now, we spent a grand total of £43.50, so we can deduct that from the game fund, but we did do that trade at CX, and they give us £38.50, so we can add that to the CX fund. So that's what the fund is looking like. Now, let's get into the charity shop pickups, and then we'll get into this GameCube game. So the first pickup this week is this Red Dead Redemption for the Xbox 360. Paid £1.50 for it. I think they give you £5 or £6 trade at CX. It is a little bit scratched up, so I'm not sure if CX will take it. I will try my luck. If they do not take it, I'm building up a bit of a reject pile of the games that are slightly scratched or a little bit too scratched with CX, and we'll try and find some other way of getting rid of them, whether we stick them as a lot on Facebook real cheap or get rid of them another way. So yeah, keep an hold of these, but hopefully there's about £5 or £6 trade. The next pickup came from my local recycle centre. They have a bunch of games on the shelf. A lot of FIFAs and the low end like worthless games at the moment. It's £2 a game in there, but they did have one worth picking up, and that is this Wii Sports Resort. I think there's still £7 or £8 trade in this. It is complete, and this bad boy is in pretty good nick. I have no concerns whether CX will take this one. So yeah, hopefully about £7 or £8 trade. Or I might even sell it, because I think Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort do pretty well on eBay, so maybe I'll try and flog it for a bit more. So the next pickup came from this mad charity shop I've only recently found. You wouldn't know it's there. It's like an old church. They just throw a little bit of board outside that says charity shop open. You wouldn't even know it was there unless you were looking for it. And things in there are super cheap. It's so dark in there. It's a right mess in there, but they just want stuff gone. So like clothing is really cheap, and the cuddly toys and toys are like 10p, 20p. It's mad, but you need some time to look around. But I did come across this. It is this Aston Villa away shirt. I actually really like it. I like the colours on it. I just noticed there's a little bit of dirt on it, but I think that will come out. I paid £1 for this bad boy. £1 for a football kit. And it is a large, so not a bad size. I like the colours. So yeah, £1. I think about 15 to 20 I should get for that. Yeah, not too bad at all. It is in real nice condition, apart from a little bit of mud, which I believe we can just wash off. So yeah, football shirt for £1. That's wild. Then me and the missus decided to go to Port Talbot for the day. I decided to take the day off from doing any work or anything like that and just enjoy myself, hitting a few charity shops, having a coffee with the wife. And while we were there, we found a few bits and pieces. Now the first thing we found was this Lions jersey right here. I think this is South Africa 2018 or something. I can't quite remember. I'm not clued up on rugby, but I know when I saw this, I had to pick it up. It is a nice big size. It is super clean. It is a double XL, and it was £6.99. Now, I thought that was a pretty good price on its own. I think there's about £20 to £25 value in this. But when I went to the till to buy it, the fella said, all clothing is buy one, get one free. So I went back to the rack, and I found another jersey, another rugby jersey right here. It is the, was that Gloucester rugby? No idea. Again, rugby's not my sport. Even though I live down here in Wales where they love it, it's not my sport. But when I saw this, again, a nice big double XL. Again, pretty clean, has a bit of dirt on it, but I think it'll wash off right here. But yeah, this was £6.99 as well. So because it was buy one, get one free, I paid £6.99 for the pair. And I definitely think there's about 40, 45 quid in value for the both of them, which isn't too bad at all from a £7 spend. This is me dabbling in the clothing thing. That's 3 t-shirts this week. That's a lot more than I probably picked up in the whole of the N64 series. So I'm really trying to expand into this area because there's definitely profit there, and it's there in abundance. When we go out looking for games and media, it's a lot more harder to find, whereas clothing just seems to be there in abundance. So yeah, keep your eyes out for stuff like this, and you'll never guess, but the next thing I found is another frustration. I paid $1.99 for this one. This is the most expensive one I've bought so far. It is the 2000 release, but it is the one I just sold this week for $14.99. So that is 2 frustrations I've sold. The third one I picked up. I think we're going to have to stick up like a frustration counter right here. So we're going to stick one right here. 3 frustrations so far. Only 4 episodes in. Let's see how many we can get by the end of the series. I don't know why it sells. Please let me know in the comments below. But this is like the most boring game. Go around in a circle, then queue up in a line. How boring is that? But if it sells, it sells. £2 into hopefully 15 quid again. Easy. Just the one game from Port Talbot, and it is Sonic and Mario at the Winter Olympics. I paid £1.50 for it, and I think they give you £5 trade. It's in nice condition, so yeah, not too bad at all. The next pickup is these 10 blank DVDs from Mr. DVD, right there. A 10 pack of blank DVDs. I paid £1 for them. And these bad boys should sell, I think, for about 20 quid. I can't imagine them being super quick sellers. But for £1, you know, I'm happy to sit there, leave them sit there and potentially get 20 quid. So yeah, not too bad. What else did we get? Now the last 2 I contemplated keeping hold of. I might keep hold of them. I paid 99p each for them. And they are these Creepers books. These were kind of like competition to Goosebumps, I believe. But these are like Creepers. There's 4 books in one right here. This is volume 2 and we've got volume 1 right here. Now I might keep hold of them because I think they're cool. But if I do try and sell them, I'm hoping for about 10 to 15 for the pair. So yeah, Creepers books, very, very cool. And then on our way home, we had to stop at the Nelm, telling you my life story. But right next to the Nelm is this massive charity shop. Now I've been in there a few times and it's very hit and miss. You don't know what the price is going to be like. Sometimes it's priced up, sometimes it's real cheap. So I went in there, had a little look about, looked on the game shelf, wasn't much there or anything. And then my phone died. But as I was walking out, something caught my eye. And it was this PlayStation Lite right here. So this caught my eye. I pulled it out, had a look at it, opened it up, and this thing is brand new. Now I haven't deducted this because I'm going to keep this for myself. I love having these sort of lights up around the games room. So this is for me. But it was when I took this to the till that I asked the question, do you have any more games out the back? And the fella said, 1 second, mate, I'll just go have a look. And he came back with a huge stack of PS4 games. Now there's 15 games here, plus there's 3 that I'm keeping hold of. And I went through and pulled them out. He said a couple of quid a game. I had a stack of 18. He said just call it 30 quid for the lot. So when you divide 30 by this lot, it's just under £1.70 a game. And there's some decent bit of trading right here. So the first one is this Lego Avengers. I think there's about £5 trade on that one. The next one is this Lego The Incredibles. Again, about £5 to £8, I think, trading. The next one is this Rayman Legends. I think £8 trade. We've got Spider-Man. There's £10 trade on that. We've got Marvel Lego Superheroes again. I think £5 to £8 trade. Another one here, Superheroes 2. This one's about, I think this one's about £8 trade. Got the Avengers. Again, about £5 trade. This MX ATV Supercross Hardcore. I think there's about £6 trade on that. Got this Minecraft Story Mode Telltale series and £14 trade on that bad boy. Got Sonic Forces. I think there's £10 trade right here. Got Carnival Games. This brings brand new and sealed. I did consider keeping this as well, but just because it was sealed, what's the point? There's £10 trade on that. We've got Crash Nitro Racing, Crash Team Racing, sorry. I think there's £10 or £12 trade on that. We've got Cars Driven to Win. I think there's £8 to £10 on that. Sonic Mania, I think about 15 quid trade. And the last one is Fast and Furious Spy Racers. Again, I think £10 to £12 trade. Yeah, my prices are a little bit off there, but I think there's somewhere between £100 and £150 trade for them games, which is just fantastic. I spent £25.50, I think, when you work it all out. So yeah, what a find that was, to find all them in the charity shop. It's not dead, they're still there. Always ask. Sometimes I'm reluctant to ask because I've asked so many times and get the same response, especially in that place. But I was so glad I did, to get all of them games for like 25 quid. It's just wild. So yeah, absolutely buzzing with that find. So before we get into the GameCube game on the list, let's quickly just show the couple of games I'm going to keep for the collection. The first one is this Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I think there's about £10 trade on that, so it's not bad. We've got Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues. I think this is a one-on-one fighter or something like that. Co-op multiplayer, I don't know. And then the last one is a brand new and sealed Back 4 Blood. There's not much value in it. It's just an online game, but brand new and sealed PS5 game. It's going in the collection, mate. So yeah, what a fantastic week. But let's get into the GameCube game we just picked up. So we had £43.50 in the CX fund. And when I went to my local CX, they had a grand total of 4 GameCube games. They had 3 in the window and 1 on the shelf, being a cracked, beat up FIFA 2002, I think it was. So yeah, I didn't have high hopes that they'd have any games on my list, but they did. They had one game that was on our list, and it's a pretty good game at that. It is Zelda Wind Waker. This 2002 installment in the Zelda franchise follows Link as he attempts to save his sister from the sorcerer Ganon. Set over a century after Ocarina of Time, Link must cross oceans, explore islands, traverse dungeons to acquire the powers to defeat Ganon. Wind Waker is notable for its cel-shaded animation that divided opinion on release but didn't harm sales, as it is the 4th best-selling GameCube game of all time. So yeah, really happy to add Wind Waker to the collection. I love the gold cover art on this thing. It comes with a bonus disc that includes Ocarina of Time, The Master Quest. Now, I loved Ocarina of Time. It's one of my favourite games of all time on the N64. But after the N64, I don't have very much experience with the Zelda franchise. I went very much PlayStation and with PlayStation all the way. I didn't really look at any other consoles or any other games for any other systems. I was very loyal to the PlayStation. So yeah, I've missed out on a ton of the Zelda games. So I'd love to go back and play them and experience them now if I could find the time. So yeah, to add Wind Waker is fantastic. I love the look on it. The cel shade, it's very different to any of the other games. So yeah, very happy to add this. Fantastic condition. Costs £42 of CEX credit. I don't know if I've done it already, but we can deduct that now. So let's stick this bad boy up on the shelf and knock it off the list. It's going right up here. And where is it on the list? There it is. That's the first game done. So there it is, the start of our GameCube collection. Let's just hope we can keep going up from here. I've got all this stuff to list, plus I've got to take all them stuff into CX next week. That's probably going to be the first thing we do next week. Trade all that stuff in. I'm thinking now to hold on to the credit, try and get it up to pick up one of the heavy hitters. It would be nice to knock one of them off early, take a bit of the pressure off. So that is the plan. But before we go anywhere, let's do the shout out of the week. And this week is going to my guy, Richard. No social medias or anything like that I need to link below. Well, I don't think there is. He's a subscriber to the channel, an absolute legend. We met a few years ago through the channel. See him at the car boot all the time. See him out hunting the charity shops. And he's an absolute legend, so I have to give him a shout out. Shout you out, Richard, you absolute legend. I saw him this week while we were in Port Talbot, and he picked up some real cool stuff. We've got like a friendly bit of competition. So, you know, trying to see what each other have got. So, yeah, he picked up some cool stuff. He found a Mega Drive game, I think Batman Returns, a loose Game Gear game, some Game Boy games. Yeah, he picked up some nice bits and pieces. And the absolute legend came up to me while we were in a charity shop and said, Brad, I've got a gift for you. And I was like, what? And he'd give me £21 in CEX credit, a voucher. I tried to refuse, tried to give it back, and he wasn't having none of it. So yeah, shout out Richard, absolute legend. I really appreciate that. You don't have to do anything like that. The fact that you watch the channel is enough. The fact that you come and say hello to me is enough. So yeah, really appreciate you, mate. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, as always, smash that like button to let me know. If you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.